address what she's saying. The council is obligated in the Constitution to appoint that person. The timeline, what I was told through email, the timeline was tomorrow, that a nomination was going to be put forward and voted on. Tomorrow. The question was, is there a reason why it's so fast? You know, I don't know why it needs to be so fast. We need to get somebody in there for our vote at that table. I mean, that's crucial. We need that, Sam.
The only problem that I have with holding off, I think you three need to go to the table tomorrow, say this is the four that the Omak district picked, and let them pick. The 13, because we only have 13 council right now, need to decide which one of these four is going to represent us. The only problem with us holding off, waiting a couple more weeks, like everybody said, we're already down one vote. Snina's gone. If Benny's gone on March 3rd, then we're down 2 votes. If Lynn and John are on travel, Omak has no votes at the table. We need somebody at that table Monday to represent the rest of us for the next 15 months.
You know, I kind of did an analysis before getting on council about how many committees have been canceled. There was like, some committees had 70% of their committees canceled because people were on travel. Some committees, there was one committee that I think it only meant 10% of the whole year. We had members of those committees that some of these council, they know travel sometimes takes precedent, and there's nobody at home to run the business. These people right here have been a part of that. We are here. We came home. We don't travel that much. But AT and I, we have some major things that we are involved in. I think, need to go tomorrow. What I heard is that people here don't feel comfortable in taking a vote tonight. I heard that you want us to go fight for you in council tomorrow and tell them that the people of the Omak district want time to make sure that everybody has an option to vote. That's what I thought I heard. These guys are nominated. These 4 people up here are nominated here tonight. If we call a meeting and everybody has an opportunity to come home, and we open it back up for discussion, and we have more participation, and we do a vote, you know, that to me is the democratic process. We used to have heads of families vote. We had people go out and meet and vote. Maybe you'll have more time to communicate with the people that are nominated. We need to fight for your voice tomorrow. One absent person, trust me. Many of you guys have been attending these meetings. Us 3 have been the ones here every month. Or not every month, I mean, I know I missed one when I had surgery and something else. So the point is if you guys want to make sure that the representative you have is somebody that you value and that you live with, then let's don't rush it tonight. Let's go in and fight for that tomorrow. I don't know. That's my opinion, and this is what I heard, and that's what I'm going to do tomorrow.
I'd like to make one more statement, and that's legality of what's going on here. All these councilmen here, when they get in there, I know that they think the proper way it comes to the legality of establishing a precedence. And that's, if you're going to do something, let's fight for the hell to do it, and everybody support each other to get it done and take advantage of everything we're presenting. And what I mean by that is there comes a time when maybe not be prepared to make a decision, but why don't we raise hands so that we're saying we're all together on this, and then take it from there. We're not really saying we're electing anybody, we're saying this is the direction we want you to go, and I think that's basically what Lynn was saying. And that's, I think we get a long way in making a decision there. Thank you.
Hazel.
Yeah, I'm one of the ones that stood up in front of all you guys and said, let's vote. Reality is, if we don't do something tonight where everybody's voices are heard, whoever gets nominated doesn't mean that they're going to make it in there. Like you guys said, Mel Tenasket was already appointed, but the voice will be heard. This is who we're supporting. I'm sorry. I found out through somebody calling me and said, there's a meeting tonight on elections. Well, hell, I've been part of elections for 17 years. And you know what? There's no excuse. I don't care what it is for somebody not to be here for an important meeting like this. I've sat here and listened. Well, I traveled 5 hours to get here. All right, right on. That's the way to be. There's people from the Spelum here. There are so many people who love to say, I wish I was at that meeting, but I have a priority other event. You made the choice not to be here. If there is no action tonight, come tomorrow, Mel Tenasket will be, they're not going to listen to these guys and say, oh, we want to wait. We want to wait 2 weeks. We want to wait for this. Well, I'm sorry. The way the Constitution actually reads, Omak District has the right, whether there's 20 of us here, has the right to make a choice on who we want to represent us. And if half you guys I see, he's sitting here saying, I'm not voting, I'm not going to be there, then by God, you better be there tomorrow. We have an obligation to vote for our people who we would like to see representing us. I'm sorry I was one of the ones that pushed for the new blood to come in. I grant I made a mistake. Our elders are so important. Our council, our education. We need, I'm sorry, it's just not sinking into some people that tonight there needs to be action. Our voices need to be heard. Tomorrow when we say we voted, this is who we nominated, this is who we won, and all of us show up, you better believe the rest of some of those council are going to change their votes. Like I said, get on your phones, text Mel Tenasket, tell him we need him down here. I don't have Mel's phone number, and that was an hour and a half ago I brought up and said, let's vote, text Mel Tenasket and say, I'd like to vote on this tonight. I'm sorry. You guys need to understand and realize and really look into our tribal constitution. At one time, the other districts didn't have a right to tell another district what they could do. Now, it's the interpretation. We need to have the support of the people. I didn't come down here to say, oh, I'm nominating all three, because I'm not, or all four, because I'm not. I'm sitting here to sing, whether it's Shirley, Ernie, Mike, or Sherry. Whoever gets nominated tonight, I'm going to be there tomorrow supporting that individual. I'm not going to sit here like this guy and say, oh, if you guys pick this person, I'm not going to support him. No. Regardless who was nominated, that's who we need to support. We can't continue to hold up because they're going to wave at Omak and say, oh, there goes Omak again, ha, ha, ha. They can't decide nothing. Well, I'm sorry, I'm still here ready to vote. And if it takes one vote, that's who's going to be here to vote, because it's important that we vote, and those of you who are here, your vote counts too.
Thank you.
Like I said before, I'm not going to sit around and have another councilman, the chairman, tell me who I can vote for. I'm not going to let him decide for me who is in the right position here in Omak. I won't My father would tell me, don't do this, don't do that, be that way. I turned around and did what I wanted to do. My sisters tell me, don't do this, don't do that. I did what I wanted to do. My friends would tell me, don't do this, don't do that. I did what I wanted to do. I vote every primary, every general election. I vote for who I want to vote for. So, you guys, if you guys want to sit around or stand around, Benny, and wait for tomorrow, when we can make that decision tonight, you guys get a grip.
Go ahead, Mary. Oh, Betty, I'm sorry. What was the question again? To sum it up, if it's, what we want to do is take the voice of the people here, bring that to the table, and let them know this is what Omak District wants. Oh, sum this up. No. Sum up what you're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, so once that special is called, probably the first thing on the agenda is going to be appointing the Omak District vacancy. And then a recommendation will be put forward. Somebody will nominate somebody, say Melton Askett. There'll be a second. We'll take other nominations and then vote on it. No, well, they closed the nominations. That's right. In the Constitution, hold on, in the Constitution, the council has the authority to appoint the Omak District. So anybody around that table can put forward a nomination. That's the tricky part of it. At this point, I would like to have the candidates give us 3 minutes apiece. Just give us their, who wants to go first?
You're my elder.
My goodness. These guys are telling on me. Yes, and I am the elder. I have served 6 years on the tribal council, and I think all of you know I've been in private business for over 30 years. Born and grew up down at Mons. I'm South Okanagan and Lake through heritage. My Alexander on my mother's side and Marchand Muma on my father's side. I put forth my thoughts to you earlier that I believe we need stability on council and someone that will be stable. There are so many huge and important things going on right now that you need somebody there that does not have to play catch-up to get in the game. And it really scares me that we're doing this vote so quickly. I want everybody in our district to have a right to vote. I may have more friends here tonight than Mike has, or Ernie, or Shirley, you know. That shouldn't be how we're elected. And I heard this one lady say that we were all blah. Well, if you seen all the fighting we had to do behind the scenes, you wouldn't think we were blah. And I think we've all contributed and made good contributions to the tribe in our own and respective ways. And there's always times when you have to deal with other districts, other council, and I think I did that well. I don't fault myself in that area at all. There is a lot of times when you cannot get the vote because this district seems to be outvoted. And I blamed a lot of that on the people themselves not working hard enough together as a pact and a team. I'm having a real fight with myself because I'm enjoying retirement. And I have other things going on in my life. I'm always willing to serve my tribe. They have done a lot for me. But I would prefer to fill for a 4 or 5 month period, give us time to get the vote out to everyone. But like I said, I don't know if we can do that or not. Other than that, I think my record speaks for itself. I did a good job for you when I was there. I would do a good job again. Hey, I got 31 years of sobriety coming up tomorrow. I'm real happy with that. So you wouldn't have to be worrying about me out there drugging and drinking. And I don't think I'd be chasing the fellows. Anyway, I hope that somehow we can come to the agreement that there should be a little longer period before we actually select someone.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good evening. My Indian name is Chimo Shisht. I'm Ernie A. Williams. I served on the council for 4 years. First of all, I think you picked some real good candidates. I've worked with all 3 of these council, and I can say this as well as for myself, that when we traveled, there's no one here that were barflies. We signed in for meetings, we were there. You know, you hear a lot of rumors. I never went to the national finals. I never went to the Indian national finals because I was too busy being prepared. Because when you travel, you all know that you go to Vegas, you go to places, they have it that way because that way they get more people there. There's entertainment. But I think I did a good job for you when I was in council. I disagree with, staying at home. I was heavily into economic development, transportation, and the biggest thing that Sherry had mentioned was, these water rights are more important than gold right now, and if we don't get a sovereign water plan and finish up with it stating that the Colville tribe is more than capable of taking care of any surplus water that we have. And even with the plan that we draw up, we still may not cover all the water we own. And other than that, if we don't start using it, growing it, monitoring it with a plan, this is a use or lose state. I've always been one that believes that this Colville tribe in north central Washington is the leader in doing anything in north central Washington because King County and what is the other, Pierce County control this state. It don't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, we're independents. And I've always believed that this valley has to figure it out, that the only way anything's going to happen here is for the people to come to this Colville tribe, because I think it can only happen here. I'll just close on that I've never gone against the grain in being a leader. Like Mike says, there's nothing more important when you're a leader for your tribal nation than your people. Meetings, yes, they're important, but when your people call for you, I do believe you had better be there. And when you have specials, you should be there. I think we're voting probably too fast, but like it's been said, you know, you need to be there tomorrow, represent who you've picked. And gentlemen over here, I'm going to tell you guys that not only in tribal government, but it is important to vote. Very important to vote. We are a powerful nation. We're a nation of our own, and I think people are scared of us because we figured them out. But anyway, I'll close on that, and all I'll say is ask all of you, no matter who you support and pick, and whoever is picked, please support them. There's nothing worse than a councilman being in there without the people that voted him in and don't support him. That's hard to chew. Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie. I'll let Shirley have the last word. But I have a lot of confidence in everyone that was nominated, and I've worked with them, and they'll all do good. I see another one over there. I did want to say a couple things about the sawmill. Don't let me forget about that. But I believe we have a lot of important things in the tribe, and a lot of things we're working on. And some of the things I like working on, I want to work on, are things like some of our big land claims issues. And my dad's from Arrow Lakes people, and about half of British Columbia is Arrow Lakes land. You know, and I think those are important issues. And when I was on council, I worked for Wenatchee rights, and all our attorneys said you can't win, you shouldn't go into the case, and we were successful in that case. We won the right to fish, but the case isn't done. We need the right to hunt. We need to get our reservation lands back in the Wenatchee area. We have lots of big issues like that. I think I have a record of working on big things and getting them done. I've negotiated the compacts for the game in. We've built some things. I've worked with Congress a lot, gotten appropriations. We've got $19 million for Pascal Sherman School, and I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'll get to the sawmill. I was a big proponent of the sawmill, and I think it's one of the best things the tribe ever did personally. And you know, I'll die thinking that. We got it in the bankruptcy sale. We didn't pay a lot of money for it. Generally, I like to bring things to the vote of the people if we can. Like I fought to bring Mount Tolman to the vote of the people, and we did. But in the case of the sawmill, we didn't have time. You know, the owners went bankrupt. It was in court, and if we didn't take it, we were going to lose it. And so I fought to get the mill, and I thought it's important to our people. One, for the jobs. The other is we need an outlet for our timber, and there's a lot of other reasons. They had 15,000 acres of timberland. They had Omak Creek dammed up at Mission Falls. It's not really natural falls. It was created by Wallace Coleman. They put the creek in a pipe, and that was part of our fisheries program. That was one of the key strategic things for our fisheries program, was to get control of Omak Creek. We got the mill, we took the creek out of the pipe, we cleared out the Mission Falls. The same year that we got the Omak Longhouse, which is another thing I fought for with our other councilmen, salmon and steelhead came up that creek the same year because we cleared out the creek. And the other part of that creek was, that was one of the main pieces with our negotiations with the Bonneville Power Administration for fisheries salmon mitigation, was restoring that creek. We got $250 million out of that deal to build the hatcheries, restore fisheries, create lots of jobs, and Wallace Coleman was a key piece to that whole process. And so you need people on there that can think out like 10 years, 20 years, and think strategically, what do we need to do to get there? And you know, I worked for council half my life, and been on council for 14 years, and I know how that works, and the government works. And I've made plenty of mistakes along the way, but I'm a big believer in getting on and trying to do things. Like today, we have a choice today. We can either sit and let someone else decide for us, or we can speak up and tell them what we want. You know, and that's kind of, I really believe in that. And I personally think you should try to get things done. I'd rather get fired for doing something wrong than get fired for sitting in my butt. So thank you.
I'm Shirley K. Charlie, and like I said before, I've sat at the table for 5 years, elected 3 times. I have ran for council since 1999. Sometimes I win, and sometimes I don't. That's the name of the game. When you put your name in for council, It's because you're interested in doing the job. I might not know everybody by name, but I kind of can figure out where everybody is from, or where you come from, or who's your grandmother, is what we always say. And I said that you got to keep the people in mind, if you like them or not. Because I'd be a damn fool standing here thinking everybody liked me. A real fool. I don't have a big ego. I very seldom pat myself on the back. But each and every one of us that are still sitting here, and every one of our enrolled members, are important. Be important to yourself first, and it will always trickle down to your family and your friends. There were people that came to my office and asked me for help, that still come to me and ask me for help. I might not like them, but I never shut the door. I never smirk. I never get cocky. And I don't tell them to shut up. It saddened me tonight to hear my elected official on record say, doesn't matter what goes on here tonight, might not be the way I vote tomorrow. You look at the records that are kept to see if Shirley Charlie ever voted against the Omak district. And I'll bet you a dime to a dollar you can't find it. I voted for our laws to be strengthened against domestic violence and sexual assault against our people, men, women, and children. I got lobbied really hard so that when you're an adult, that the adoption papers weren't going to be sealed against you, because it's your right to know. I lobbied for and against some things that came about in every district. And I fought hard to make sure that we have employment. I've stood up, I've voiced my opinions. I've been accused of stealing, and I guarantee you, if I stole anything from the Colville tribe, my beautiful log home would be finished. I got bribed to wire my log home, and it's not a cabin, for $5. Shirley Charlie's house is not wired. Although I'd been living there, I can't be bought. I said, you got to know where that ethic stopped. We had emergencies. I didn't pull out my credit card. I borrowed the money and paid it back. And you got to know a lot of issues. You ask any council person, present or past, when you ran for council, was it what you thought it was once you got elected? And if they're honest, they'll say no, because you got to fight for our rights. And our rights cannot be wavered or set aside. And I really, really hope, yeah, there's been people that left, but there's also almost 2,000 people of eligible voters that never, ever have voted. So when you say to hold off on the vote, hold off on the vote. Give me the opportunity to put my name on that ballot, and my friends that aren't here can vote for me. And in the meantime, the rest of the Colville Business Council and maybe 3 of our council will vote for us. I have no problem with Mel. We're relation, as a lot of you are relation to me. But just for his name to be picked out of the hat with no consideration And it saddens me that my elected officials weren't notified for 3 days after a tragic event. I really wonder if they're notified when their members die.
I hear my name's been coming up a lot, and I was trying to stay home and really not get involved with politics. I was watching MSNBC because that's a liberal channel, you know, and I got a call and no, but I thought I'd better come down and tell you what I know, okay? Because I've been gone. I was over on the coast to a memorial for an old friend, and when I got home the other day, I got a call from a councilman. I can say names, you guys have. Okay, I got a call from Billy Nicholson, and he told me that Michael was on the speakerphone with him, and they called me to inform me that Snina had just resigned, and they asked me if I would help. And I said, yeah, I'll help. What can I do? He said, well, would you be willing to be appointed to fill his position? I said, yeah, I would be willing to do that, but you really need to call these guys and let them know what's going on so that they know what's going on and are participating in the decision-making process. And I reminded them that there's all different kinds of ways to fill this position. So you guys are going to have to pick that. But I'm willing to help however I can help. And so that's how we left it. And then yesterday I got a call. It was yesterday, right? Yesterday I got a call, said we're gonna meet Friday, and we, meaning the council or the committee, and we're going to approve appointment to fill the vacant position. Could you be here Friday? I said, I got a commission, gaming membership commission, Friday. And they said, well, can you still come over? I asked, did you call John and the guys and go over it with them? Because they need to be involved. It isn't going to work if they're not involved. And there wasn't really a clear answer. So I called John. And I didn't have your numbers, but I called John, and John was on the road coming back from Affiliated, and I told him what was happening to me by phone. And he said that surprised him that they told me that they was going to appoint me Friday. Well, that surprised me that didn't know. So I told John, because I seen text saying that there was going to be this emergency meeting tonight. I told John, go to the meeting. Go to the meeting. Listen, explain what's going on, and you guys have to decide, all right? I mean, Constitution says the council decides, council appoints, or fills a position in some fashion. So I said, but call me and let me know what's going on, because I ain't going to go to Nespelem. I'm going to go to my meeting, and you guys hack it out. And if it goes that I'm going to get appointed, call me and I'll come over. If it's not, I'm going to stay at my meeting. I'm not campaigning for this. I just offered to help. You know that there's division in that council, right? I mean, don't get committees. That's evident. And it goes both ways, really. And so I thought by helping, it would, because I know the other side, I know this side, maybe I can be that bridge in between, or the voice. That's how I was thinking I could help. And so that's all I know. So I just said, I'm going to stay home. I'm not going to come down here and run for council. I just was asked to help. And I'm still of that opinion. You know, I mean, this is just, Indians make me laugh sometimes.
You know how important the Constitution is.
Yes.
The Constitution says that the council will,
Fill a position.
for the remainder of the term.
Yes.
So I would like our council to follow the Constitution. Would you be willing to do that? The candidates here are very willing to do that. So, the candidates here are accepting.
I think I don't know if you heard her question, would I follow the Constitution? I think anybody that is willing to be on the council has to commit to follow the Constitution. You have to, or don't get in it. Okay, any questions of me?
Mel, have you considered declining the offer?
I can't decline to help. I offered, when I was asked, I said I would, sure, I will help. That's what I said. If the help meant to be appointed, that's where I got caught. But the question is, and part of what you guys have to think about here, and I know everybody, I mean, I've served with everybody, I think, and I respect anybody that's going to run for council, anybody that serves on the council. I have to respect them because a lot of stuff comes with that. You think you got friends until you got on, and then where'd they go? Right? I mean, either you're loved or you're hated. No matter, in politics, no matter what you do, somebody's going to get mad, but somebody's going to be happy. That's politics. I've been in it a long time. Most of you know my history on the council, what I've served, where I've worked. I mean, what you have to consider at this moment in time, with the condition that the council is in, with the division that the council is in, where's the council going, right? I don't know, I'm not there every day, but the situation of the council, who could help the most? Who knows more people? Who knows systems? Who knows who can help the most? That's what the consideration has to be, not personality, not height, not any of that other stuff. Who's related to who can help the most? And I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm not chairing this, but Edwin keeps raising his hand.
Yeah, you and I have been through this way back, and I know what you're talking about. We have to make a decision here based on something highly political, but we're in an emergency situation.
Right.
And that's why I didn't think that you'd want to get to you and I see each other post office all the time.
Yeah.
And I know you're involved in a lot of other things. And because it's an emergency situation, I didn't even get involved in anything because it's going to take a lot of damn thought processing. And you're going to need somebody like a bulldog who's going to get in there and really chew things up and get some paper thrown around the damn room to get the things done. And so I'm the one that pushed it. So let's get Mel here and see how he feels, what he thinks. I appreciate you coming. But I think that there's a little bit more to this time because it's an emergency situation. And I respect you coming to give me a point of view.
It is an emergency situation, and that's why I offered to help. I'm 74 damn years old. I ain't gonna make this another career, right? But maybe I can help for a year and a half. It's not even a year and a half. I mean, what's gone by? How many months since July? Year and 5 months. So.
Yeah, Bill, and I really appreciate that's what I'm talking about. I go over there as much as I possibly can, and I'm 75. I got to right now. I
Old
still
guy.
go over to the council chambers and talk to these people, do my council name. I didn't give up my politics. Even when I lived away from you, I come
Yeah.
dealt with the council. So what I'm saying is, you and I could being from the outside can go in and set and do those things and help these people that are going to be involved in year after year in the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not against you. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that due to our background and experience, I come from the outside, Ron. You know that. I didn't get into higher level management and working in Newbig district. And there's a difference in our background, but we need both those backgrounds to get things done. And that's my feeling.
Yeah.
We could probably do a lot better, but the representatives saying all consult, but I'm not going to get in there because it's a really big political issue, and we don't want to be split right now because of this emergency situation.
Yeah, and I did make that offer. I said, one of the options is to just hire me to be your in-between person. And they said that isn't what we wanted to hear. One more, and then I'm not chairing this.
You weren't here present, so I couldn't nominate you to put on the list. But the people at home, who they thought was, because I guess you were a favorite or whatever. But I nominate you to help bridge the gap between our council. And we've talked at some short stay about the emergency we had prior to even the other stuff because of the dysfunctional council. So I thank you for your time. You've always been an Indian leader. You're well known in Indian country. And I know if you do get voted in, you will represent this tribe like you have for the law.
Well, I appreciate that, and really my purpose is to let you know how it got to be where it is now, right? That I was called, that I was asked, that I agreed to help, and then I was told to be there tomorrow morning, and I'm not going to be there tomorrow morning. I'm going to go to my commission meeting and chair that. That's the only thing that I'm on right now is a gaming commission. But I like sunshine. I like sitting on my porch, you know.
Thank you.
I have a question for Mel. Mel, you've been a leader for many, many years. You've made a lot of really good impacts in our reservation and in Indian health across Indian country. We already know that. We have you as a consultant. We work with you still. We're dragging you in all the time. Yeah, seriously. I want to know, because you have been chair of the council, as my father has, when you have a situation like this in your council, your peers, in your own district, you have a vacancy, and your peers did not consult with you about this kind of backdoor decision, what would you do about that? How would you feel about that? I'm glad you brought it out. I mean, I'm assuming that that's the reason you brought it out. Because that right there is just a practice that has happened. And is that okay? No. I mean, I don't want to dwell on the whole issue, but it is a big problem.
It is a problem, and that's why I recommended that they talk to you guys before any decision was made. Twice. And how I interpret the other side is that they see it as an emergency situation and it needs to be filled. He's the vice chairman of the tribal council, and he's chairman of a major committee. And so to them, it's an important act fast situation. Is it? I'm not going to make that decision. All I can do is say they made a mistake by not going to you guys first, right? If I would be totally pissed if or they would probably be pissed in Inchelium if there was a vacancy and Omak voted to fill that vacancy for them. I understand that. I understand that completely. But we're in the situation where we're at, and it's going to be up to you guys. I'm going to go home and watch TV. You guys decide.
Mel, thanks for saying about the vacancy and how important it is to get filled. The vacancy is the vice chair's vacancy. So if the chairman, who is Mike Finley, is already making the decisions, The vice chair is the only one that can conduct business in the absence of the chairman. The secretary, it is not legal until, I don't know, something's got to be done. We tried to get it done when Colleen Costin was the chairwoman. We couldn't get it done, so that the secretary, that if she chaired the committee, the special and the regular, that it would be a legal meeting. So if Mike Finley isn't there, regardless of what came out of a committee, there's no special, there's no regular without Mike Finley. And they cannot reorganize or appoint a vice chairman until there's 14 people there. And they can do a vote amongst themselves to fill the vice chair's place. This is big. This is major. This is crucial. And tomorrow, if we like it or not, Mel Tenasket will represent the 4th elected official of our council. And I didn't get a vote on that.
You're exactly right. Until there's 14 there, that's when the leadership positions are seated in the Constitution. Exactly. John, and then Mervyn.
I'm glad Shirley brought up how important this position is. It is the vice chair. And out of the 4 candidates that we have up there, there's only one that I would put in there as vice chair, as important as it is, because the other council that's up there that keep running, they don't get voted in. They don't get voted in for a reason. They were in there before, and they proved to the district they're not capable of doing it now. Important position like that, Mel's been there. That's for my money, right?
Just to clarify, actually, there will be an appointment of a position. Once there's 14, then within the council they'll elect that leadership. It might not be whoever we choose. It might not even be Mel. We don't know yet. That has to happen after the 14 are in there. So it's not just an automatic, whoever gets in will get the tribal government chair and the vice chair. That's not an automatic. Okay. Mervyn. Yes.
If I wanted to be on the council, I would come here and campaign.
Well, the way Shirley put it, and Penny, he wants to vote. It sounds like he ain't on the Omak side anyway. I'm going to vote for whoever I want. Well, that ain't right. It ain't right, Penny. If you're going to vote that way, you're for Omak, not for Smithfield or Gitchell.
So should I vote for
You're
someone?
going to vote on their side.
So if you vote, so whoever you vote for, if they don't win, should I vote for who you vote for, or should I vote for what the district votes for?
Vote for somebody, not just because you don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you might.
I thought that would get
yourself on that.
Rusty and then Patty.
Simple question, Mel.
Yeah.
I've seen you over so much at the memorial. I always see you on travels around churches. If you're an Omak district member, set the backdoor phone calls aside, set all the different nonsense that's been brought before you aside, and answer my question. How would it make you feel as an Omak district member, seeing somebody else in front of us, knowing there was backdoor action going towards them to promote to be on the council, to promote our vote? How would that make you feel individually?
Exactly like I said. I told them that they needed to talk to the Omak District Councilman. I mean, I can't order them to, but I said, you need to do it. I strongly recommended you do it, or it isn't going to work right. There's going to be struggle. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just like I said, you know, Inchelium would be mad if we appointed somebody for them without their input. I mean, that's common sense. So no, I wouldn't like it. This is the first time, and I've been around this business for over 40 years, off and on, but I've been around the business. This is the first time that this particular kind of thing has happened. Usually we have our meetings, usually we have our voice of what we want when we go over to the tribal office. So I can't change what happened, I can just explain to you what happened.
Tomorrow, the council's going to vote on our casino. We need that person in there. If we don't select somebody tonight and we go there and we say, well, we nominated these 4 candidates, that's not going to mean anything to the council. They are going to pick someone. So that's what we need. When you look at Omak, we haven't received hardly anything. It's because our Omak councilmen were not voting together. The Spieler was not voting with us. And so where did everything go? To Inchelium. Now we have an opportunity to get somebody in there that will make our council at least communicate and work together, and there won't be, you know, this kind of behind the door thing where our Omak district councilmen don't even know what's going on.
Thank you. Go ahead. As far as I know,